Hello, what's up, y'all? Um, I'm coming back to YouTube to do some stuff. So, yeah. um, Game Informer today, September 3rd, released a new gameplay video for Life is Strange. And my resolve lasted all but like 7 seconds before I decided to click on it. So I just thought it would be a fun time to get my reaction to it all, as one does. So, here I go, hitting spacebar. Bam! Maybe. Spacebar. Woo! Oh man, it's so pretty.
To another episode of New Gameplay Today. I am your host, Alex Stadnick, and I got quite the crew with me today.
What up?
Joining me, K-Star in the building herself.
Kimberly Wallace!
Hello, Kim.
Hey, what's up? What are we playing here? What is this?
We're playing Life is Strange True Colors, and I know I have another big fan of Life is Strange in Alex Van Aken here as well, correct?
Hello. I've actually never played a Life is Strange game.
What?
Gasp!
For this one because
Gasp!
the protagonist's name is Alex, and it takes place in Colorado, which is why I just moved here from. I've got a lot riding on this game. I hope it's good. It's not only representing my name, it's representing, a place that is near and dear to my heart, the state of Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this: they make in Colorado is beautiful, but it looks beautiful in this game, and Alex is a pretty cool protagonist so far. I love her dry wit and sarcasm, and it's really fun to play with her dialogue options as you go through the game.
That's awesome. And like right off the bat,
Does that mean Kim is reviewing the game?
Pencil shader that is outlining, what you have highlighted. Like just right off the bat, like nailing the style.
Oh yeah.
Just like the watercolory,
like some of the powers and stuff she has too. The style in this game is one of my favorite parts of this. And Kim, I'm with you, my fellow Alex here in the game. She's very naturally funny. The writing I feel like has been spot on in the first chapter in kind of that back and forth, right? I feel like humor in games is really hard to do.
Oh yeah.
It just her and Gabe and a lot of the people in this town, it feels natural, and that's a really good start, because I feel like especially in a game like this, narrative focused, like you need that, and so far they've done a really good job with it, in my opinion. So
yeah, it does not feel forced ever, and it comes across, as you said, really naturally. But yes, we should start off a little bit with Alex is
her aura is all purpley.
New Haven, right?
Yeah, Haven Springs.
Yeah. Haven, sorry. And her to live with her brother, but she's been in and out of group homes for the last 8 years or so, I think. And so they haven't seen each other in a while. And Alex is at an what I like about this is she's at an interesting time in her life. I think she's 2021, which is the oldest had a Life is Strange protagonist. Usually they're high schoolish age, but she is trying to figure out what's next with her life, and really kind of searching for a place that feels like home. And that I compare it to that weird time when you just graduate college and you're like, oh my god, now I have to figure out where the heck my life is going, right, and what I want.
Or it takes you back to college, like me.
Stage. And it's a reunion with her brother. She hasn't seen him for a long time, but they have a good relationship. They have some really cool, cute scenes going on. But there's also a little bit of that awkwardness of I haven't seen you for a while. But let's just try to pick up where we left off, right?
For sure. Yeah, I'm loving their interactions together have been my favorite part of this, and the town, whilst it feels very. This kind of feels like a millennial dream.
Pretty.
Being in this beautiful,
oh my gosh, I can't get over how gorgeous Haven Spring is. Haven Springs is.
But I know I can't. Me in the real world, I can't live in this town, right? With the mountains and stuff like that, it'd be way too expensive.
Well, you also know that you're in a town where everybody knows everyone else's business, and you get that feeling of there's that small town closeness.
Lasting
Very
notice.
protective of everyone, and everybody knows each other. I like they have this little app on her phone, which is like, oh, what's the neighborhood app that everybody always talks about?
Next door.
Yes, it's like Nextdoor, exactly like Nextdoor, but this town. Think of them of like having their own Facebook page, and just like listing like, hey, I need someone to help me with this, or this is going on now. And this dude right here, this is Ryan. He's one of her love interests, if you choose. So you do not have to. There's 2 love interests, Ryan and Steph. And
Steph.
you have to pick a love interest, but if you want one,
Channeling my inner Steph Gingrich right now with my beanie here.
they're there to explore. But here we're looking for he needs help finding. She's trying to get a gift for her brother. Want to make a good impression and figure out what he was interested in music-wise. And the cat is, of course, on top of the document she does.
As cats tend to do. So
Really? And add. Alright, skip.
So, backing this up a little bit, if you've never played a Life is Strange game, in True Colors, you're presented with choices. Usually it's between 2 and 4 choices, kind of like, it maps it to the face buttons. And some of them have big consequences in the story. Some have little ones that we've ran into so far. There's a couple ones where they make it clear which ones are like the big choices, right?
It's usually like you have one on the left, one on the right.
Correct.
Yes, it stops in time to let you know, like, hey, you got these 2 big choices here. What you gonna pick? And then you sit there agonizing over it for a little bit and hoping that you made the right one.
Like bay over bay.
It stresses me out, man. Not gonna lie. Just like there was a couple of moments where I looked at the screen for like 5 minutes, and that doesn't sound like a long time, but in the moment I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm choosing life or death here, even though it's like, tell this person to do this versus that. And so in that way, I like the choice system in this. And then, I've never played the Life is Strange games either, so I don't know if this was in the other games. Kim, you can tell me. But at the end of the chapter, it tells you what the world did in those moments too, which I really liked, and also made me feel bad about some of my choices.
It's always weird. It's always weird to me when I pick something and it's like, oh, nobody really picked that. Am I just this big like
Kings of Leon?
Why did I pick that? I've been playing this one very honest as Alex. It just feels right. I feel like I really get into role playing the characters, and something about her to me feels like she would have her guard up, but also just not be like, I'm not gonna lie to these people about who I am and what I've been through. But you can choose to go the other way, and I like having those options of where to go with the character. And like I said, she's a fun character to play because she's got some good zingers. And she's very sarcastic, and I love it.
Definitely. Awesome. And you talked about role playing, Kim, and I echo what Alex said earlier. It does help that she's named Alex. This is such a personal thing, but it is like I'm really trying to play her like I would myself, and I feel a little bit.
Yeah, that's what's great about those games.
It's just who I am, I suppose. But
it's like you try to do it like you would do it.
When I talked to the team who made this game, it's Deck 9 this time around.
Deck 9
passed the series on. Deck 9 did Before the Storm, which was fantastic. And
speaking of Before the Storm, Steph Gingrich, everyone.
Shaping how the community reacts around you and your kind of attachment to the town, I should say. And you're kind of going to be pulled in different directions where you're going to decide, like, do you like this small town life, or are you more like, this is Steph, your other love interest. She was in Before the Storm. She loves her some D&D, which makes her cool in my book. But she's more like, Ryan, who we saw, he's grown up his whole life in the town. And then you have her who has always been on the move and kind of likes that.
I love her tattoo here.
too attached to one place for too long. But I mean, it's ultimately, like I said, your decision on what you decide and how it goes.
For sure. And that's an interesting call out because, like Alex and I have said in here, we haven't played Life is Strange here. I don't feel like I'm being penalized for that.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know Steph was from a previous game.
Oh yeah, you could start this not having played the other games. What I will say people will notice is there's definitely a graphical upgrade here.
Oh yeah.
It looks better than the games have ever looked. This was the first time they did full
mocap
capture for it. So the expressions on the face in the older games were very sometimes wooden and awkward.
Oh yeah.
And they look much more.
She's putting it nicely.
I noticed it on before. She has these very subtle movements in her face, or like the way that she'll sometimes like roll her eyes or something that just really sells like what she's saying, and it feels very genuine.
I think it's a great call out because I was noticing the eye work in this game too, which sounds weird, but like, you know, in real life, our eyes are usually darting around trying to comprehend.
Do you know what a LARP is? I love it.
And you know, well, it's not perfect, right? It's a video game. They've done a really good job with that, and it feels a little bit more immersive. So,
totally. Even like, I'm picking up on all of this. I think, Kim, I haven't even. I mean, I've, you know, I know Life is Strange. I've seen footage of it. Like I can, but like my first takeaway was, wow, this looks gorgeous. Like, like you said, the animations are really fluid and detailed, but also just I think like the lighting looks really good, and the character models, the environmental details, like everything has this like sheen, this polish that I think is really going to do the series well going forward, and especially like bringing in new players. I think like this seems like it's the perfect time for people like me who have always been interested in Life is Strange. Unfortunately, I really wanted to play the first game and had it spoiled for me, and so I just passed on it.
Bummer.
Story, and I was like, I'm not gonna, you know, waste my time. Even though I'm sure it still would have been great to see play out. But so as somebody who's always wanted to get into these series, it really does feel like now's the perfect time to jump in to True Colors. So I'm excited.
Yeah, stories, emotions. I mean, Life is Strange.
Steph, what are you doing?
Dialed back on confronting difficult issues, and from playing what I have so far in this first episode, I really like how they handle a lot of, you know, Alex's relationship with foster care. I mean, like what she had to endure with that, being away from her brother. I think the game, you know, deals with
Alabaster daydreams. Blame the monkey brain.
Kind of like also this thing of finding yourself, which I think is very relatable, and I think people are going to latch onto. And
Hero with 1,000 rhymes.
I will say, it moves slowly because it's introducing you to a lot of things, so you won't have like all these like, you know, her power is different than other past characters in Life is Strange, right? It's more supernatural abilities. She has the power of empathy, which it's not what you would expect from how it plays out.
Is this like the D&D bit?
Yeah. So we won't talk about too much on this, but it's a comic book that one of the towns people made for you, and someone has gone missing, and you're trying to find them using it.
So, that's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in this. I am, my first experience with this, I'm very happily surprised because Life is Strange is not a series I've been super into, like we've talked about, but this is a great first introduction, and I've really enjoyed my time with the first episode. So, Kim, any parting thoughts before we say goodbye?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm really excited to see how they explore empathy more, and her, you know, this deals a lot with the intensity of emotions, and I think we all can relate to that in certain ways. And so to see
we definitely can
portray this on screen, I think, and what does it say in general about how much we give of ourselves to others, and what, you know, how they keep empathy without feeling like a gameplay tactic, you know. I think that's what I'm most interested in. But as far as the world goes and characters, like, I'm on board. This is some of the best dialogue I've seen them do. So
that's awesome.
Hey, look at that graffiti.
Look at that.
Had to get that in there.
Isn't it legal in Colorado?
Alex, any parting thoughts?
I'm really excited.
Trophy.
You know, funnily enough, I actually used to work in the same building as Deck 9 when I lived in Colorado.
Whoa. That's awesome.
Until it was too late, but it really seems like, I mean, I'm really just excited to see this world. Like I said, huge tie. It looks like Telluride, Colorado. It looks like that mixed with Boulder, which is where I live.
That's what they said they were inspired by the way.
Oh, yeah, they look identical. And like even little nods to like there's like a notorious elk statue in Boulder that has like some funny stories behind it. I noticed that was in the game. Yeah, it just seems like really authentic, and I'm really excited to. I think that's going to play well into its characters. If there's that much attention to detail to just the environment, I can't wait to see how it goes into the story and the characters. I'm really excited.
Well, Mr. Van Aken, you won't have to wait that much longer.
Like 1 week, baby.
September 10th. So soon. It's coming out. Oh, very exciting.
Wait.
Yeah, it's coming out for PS5, PS4, Switch, Xbox, the whole Xbox family. It says Google Stadia. So, if Google's lying, it's dying. So thank you folks for watching. As always, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We have a ton of great new gameplay todays out there. We are in the midst of an awesome cover story in Marvel's Midnight Suns. Life is good if you're a GI fan, and we appreciate your support. So thanks. Be good to one another. We'll see you next time.
Awesome. Man, that was cool. Really, really, like they say it's a graphical upgrade, but I mean you can tell it's a graphics upgrade. Just all the details and everything, and the faces. You can tell that they did mocap for this, and it's awesome. Music's great in the background. Oh, so excited to play this. 1 week from today, Game Informer did a great job of breaking that down. So yeah, thanks guys. We will see you next time.